Well, Memphis football also in action on Saturday, and just like Ole Miss, every game at this stage of the season crucial for the Tigers if they hope to make a play at the AAC championship game. This week, that means finding a way to beat 3-4 Charlotte, who last year Memphis had to take to overtime to beat. But Rachel, Charlotte looks a lot different this year. What do they need to do on either side of the ball?
Yeah, well, last year, this year. So it's a completely different looking team, but the most changes right now is certainly at quarterback. They've had 3 different quarterbacks in and around under center playing for them this year. So there's a lot of inconsistencies there when it comes to quarterbacks. You can see the 3 of them all there on your screen right now. Max Brown, he's actually going to get the start here this weekend. He's had over 630 total yards of offense, 3 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. But it looks like they'll have him on a pretty short leash. If he can't kind of get things going in those first couple of drives or is causing turnovers, then I would not be surprised to see him get pulled and see one of the other guys come in under center and get things going for Charlotte and try and help them move the offense. But it's not like Brown and Charlotte won't have their work cut out for them, obviously. The 49ers have 13 total turnovers this season, which is ranked 109th in the country, while Memphis are ranked 14th in turnovers forced. So look, for the Tigers to use their physicality to capitalize, something they didn't necessarily always have a lot of last year.
I think this team has a tougher mindset. I think their physicality always comes down to how tough you are up here initially, and then can you go out there and put it on display. So I do think we have a more physical ball club. I do think we're mentally tougher, we're more mature. But guess what? That's a challenge every week to make sure that stays at an absolute high level.
So from what you hear from Ryan Silverfield, he's pretty confident what his defense is going to be able to do against what was a really high-powered Charlotte offense last year and has kind of come down to earth a little bit more.
I would say they were high-powered last
year.
They looked high-powered when they played Memphis last year.
A lot of teams looked high-powered against Memphis last year. The team is definitely more physical. You're going up against a quarterback who transferred from Florida, who's struggling with confidence, who got benched for a freshman who has 3 touchdowns and 5 picks. You got to win this game, and you got to terrorize him. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another quarterback in there after halftime. But Memphis have a fine quarterback of their own, and Charlotte's passing defense, not necessarily that great. So I think, honestly, overall, it's going to come down to Seth Hennigan, who, like he said, didn't have the best quarterback rating. It's going to come down to Memphis really exploiting Charlotte's passing defense, which, at the end of the day, is ranked 95th in the nation. If we can pull up that full screen, show you all the stats from Memphis or from Charlotte's passing defense. They're giving up 233 yards per game, 94th in the nation. 1,634 passing yards allowed total. And this is the big one, 14 yards per completion with 12 passing touchdowns allowed. It's a very, very perfect matchup for Seth Hennigan in this Tigers offense.
So what I'm hearing from you when you pull that full screen up, you're talking about the 14 yards per completion. Explosive plays is something we can expect from the Memphis offense this week. They have the Memphis football team in totality has played a lot of complementary football. Don't think we've seen a game outside of maybe the first 2 that have been complete games. It's kind of like the defense dominates and the offense might struggle a little bit, or we get a shootout, right, where the offense is doing a lot of scoring and the defense is like, all right, we just got to get that one stop that allows them to get going. And I think what we're going to notice is the defense does have to bounce back, but the 2 offenses that they've really struggled with, being Navy and being North Texas. North Texas in particular, Chandler Morris, their quarterback, 2,400 yards passing this season. He's top 3 in the nation, right? He's up there with Jackson Dart. So there's nothing to be ashamed about with that. And Navy has surprised everybody this year. Other than those 2 games, the Memphis football defense has been really stellar.
Yeah, no, they have. But I think, like, when it comes to Memphis' offense, I really want to see them build off of last week. We saw them put up 52 points, the most they have all season long. And, we see them have those explosive plays, a couple of them. Obviously, the 62-yard dart, I think it was, to Demir Blankenship for the touchdown, which kind of put them over the edge and helped them get the win against North Texas. I want to see more of that if I'm Memphis. I actually asked Seth Hennigan at the press conference yesterday if that game has kind of given the offense more confidence. This is what he had to say.
Yeah, I feel like it was a confidence booster, but it was one of the worst graded games that I've had, actually, which kind of surprised me going in and watching the film on Sunday. So there's more things that to improve on, and that we need to execute better. And that's the thing that, you know, makes you love football, is even when you supposedly play well and put a lot of points on the board and you have a good game against a good opponent, there's still more to be done. There's still more work to accomplish.
So what we hear from Seth there is that they certainly understand that even if they've had some really great games, there's still a lot for them to be able to build on. And for him in particular, even when he plays stellar, or at least it looks like he plays stellar.
It's not that good,
It's not that great. There's still some things you certainly have to worry about on that one.